Thank you for watching this Ed Puzzle video on Unit 1, Quiz 2. I am happy you're here. That means that you are looking to reteach yourself some of the ideas that we've covered in Unit 1, and you are looking to improve your score and retake Quiz 2 by watching this Ed Puzzle video. So great job. You're already halfway there. And then you're going to answer the questions throughout this video. When you're done doing that, you are going to open the link at the end of the Ed Puzzle that is going to give you some new questions. You're going to do those new questions, completing all of the steps, and then turning it in to me so that you can receive an increased grade of 80%. So let's go ahead and get started looking at some of the questions that you might have done incorrectly when you first took this quiz. Here we're looking at what is the first step in solving an equation when there are variables on both sides of the equation. So in this multi-step equation, we see 2y is on the left and 3y is on the right. We want to look at how are we going to move variables when they are on both sides of this problem. Since we're talking about variables, we know that this first one, move only the constants. That's not what we're looking at. We're looking at, do we want to collect like terms? We're not doing division because we need to collect like terms, so we're going to be adding or subtracting. And the last one, solve the equation. We cannot solve yet because we have y on both sides. So we do need to collect like terms. We need to look at actually taking that 2y, and we want to subtract the 2y from both sides in order to collect those like terms. We would have -5 equals y plus 10. We could take this a step further and we could subtract 10 from both sides in order to isolate that y, and we would have -15 is equal to y, or y is equal to -15. Looking at this next question, how would you define the numbers -5 and 10 in this equation? -5 and 10 are the constant numbers that we see. They're not solutions. They don't answer the questions. They're not variables because they're not letters. And they're not the coefficients because remember, coefficients are the numbers you find in front of the variable. So -5 and 10 are the constants. Constants means that it is continually 5 is equal to -5. -5 is constantly -5. It cannot change. Match the translation for 8 less than. 4 times a number is 12. Now, we've talked about 8 less than, so 8 is less than something. In order to know what that something is, we would have to keep reading. 8 is less than 4 times a number is always equals 12. So 8 less than 4 times a number. The next problem, what is the step after combining our like terms? So here we see that we had x's on both sides of the equation. So we want to work at collecting these like terms. Now 5 minus 5 is 0, so we have nothing down here to worry about. There's no more x on the right. No, I'm sorry, on the left. X is gone. Okay, so that's gone. We bring down that 20 on the left. 6x minus 5x leaves me with x, and I have this -5 that I bring down. What step comes after combining our like terms? Well, we want to isolate the x, so we have to move this constant. Well, it's a -5, so I have to add 5. Now, if I'm thinking about this, am I solving for the constant? Well, the constant is -5. Am I moving the constant to the same side? At this point, I can see that I have two constants. I have a 20 and I have a -5. And so I need to move that -5 or the constant -5 over to be with the other constant of 20. I'm not solving for the constant. I solve only for variables. I'm not solving for the coefficient. In this case, that coefficient is only a 1. I'm not moving the coefficient because I'm not worried about that 1 with the coefficient. That can stay there. My next step is to move the constant. In our next problem, we're looking at Sally went to Costco yesterday. She had to pay her yearly membership of $45. That was a flat fee. That was one part of her bill. The other part was that she wanted to buy jackets for her children. Each jacket was $30 for her children. We don't know how many, but we know she spent a total of $135. Our two parts are added together to equal our total. We know that 30 was the price of the jacket, and in this first one, 45 was a flat fee, so we're not going to multiply 45 times the number of children. 135 plus the 45 plus each jacket, $30, times the number of children would give us, this is the correct one. Here we're looking at adding all three different things, but we know we're multiplying. And here we even have the total being added in, so that's not correct either. The quotient of a number in 5, the quotient, so we know that we're dividing something. We can use the division or we can use the fraction bar. The quotient of a number and 5, the quotient of a number divided by 5 increased by 10. So this increased by 10 is 12. Oops, is 12. Here we have subtracting. We're looking at increasing by 10, so we have a plus 10. A number divided by 5 increased by 10 is 12. So we're looking at this problem right here. The last two problems we had to solve for the variables. So we're looking at collecting like terms. I have L's on both sides. I want to move the L that has the smaller value. So I'm going to subtract 3L from both sides. 9L minus 3L is 6L. I bring down that plus 12 is equal to -6. I want to isolate L. So the next thing I have to do is remove that constant. 6L is equal to -18. Remember, you're adding two negative numbers together. Now I have 6 times L, so I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides, and L equals -3. Deep breath. We have one last problem to do. We're looking again at the fact that we have common variables on both sides of this equation, so I need to remove the variable that has the smaller value. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. By subtracting 5 from both sides, I am collecting my like terms when it comes to my variable terms. 7n minus 5n is 2n. I still have a -2 on the left-hand side. 5n minus 5n is gone, but I have a 6 left on the right-hand side. At this point, I have to look to collect my constants and put them together. 2n, oops, I'm going to write it over here. 2n, Oh, I'm running out of room. I'll go small. 2n is equal to 8. 2 times n, so I have to do the inverse operation and divide. N equals 4. Okay, that concludes the review for the quiz. Now what you're going to be doing is going to practice similar questions to this, and when you're done writing out all of the work on a separate sheet of paper, bring that paper into me, and then we can look at improving your test score for Unit 1, Quiz 2. Thanks for listening.